As long as you stimulate an organism to a level that has never been stimulated before, results or adaptations will follow. The higher level the organism, the higher the stimulus needed. Does this mean the more complex of a stimulus needed? Conventional wisdom says that the lower level athletes can adapt from a less potent stimulus, and the higher level athlete needs more complex training in order to elicit desired adaptations. You hear things all the time like, you don't need to worry about bands or chains or French contrast or complex programming until you are quote unquote strong enough. But what if that's wrong? What if that's almost backwards? The less experienced an individual is, the more volume, the more work, or insert any other buzzword here that an individual can experience and recover from and return to training in a timely manner. This is because they cannot produce the high raw outputs that requires as much motor control, motor unit recruitment, acetylcholine, enzyme activity, neural activity, etc. Maybe the extremely potent stimulus for a higher level organism, in this case an athlete, is as simple as just pushing the organism as hard as absolutely possible in a less familiar athletic context in the shortest amount of time. Training is meant to elicit global adaptations that enhance strength, speed, power, etc. What if instead of complex programming for higher level athletes, they actually need less complex programming and more simplified programming? So for a hypothetical example, let's say a high-level athlete may demonstrate a greater response to maximally pushing himself in one strength exercise in a day, and that exercise could be something that they are less familiar with. Example, instead of a back squat, it could be a Zercher squat or a pistol squat. Instead of a deadlift, it could be a single leg deadlift. Instead of a split squat, it could be a Hatfield split squat with a tempo, or insert any other exercises that they may have less experience with. If you perform a movement that you are more proficient at, you may be training the skill of the movement more than the actual athletic qualities you're trying to produce, and it will be more demanding, making it more difficult to recover from. Currently, I put zero thought into my training. I essentially max out on something almost every day. I stimulate myself to a level that I have never been before on a regular basis. I sprint several times per week, each time with different volume or variations to make it slightly different, stimulating myself past a point that I have been before. Once I feel like I have hit that point, I usually call it a day, and maybe I'll do a couple other things just because I want to, and I find exercise and activity enjoyable. And I believe that I am currently the most athletic that I have ever been. My 1 rep max back squat may not be at its highest, but it's not far off. But I would bet that I am stronger and can produce higher levels of maximal force in more contexts than ever before. My 10-yard split is the best that it's ever been, and my jumping ability is better than it's ever been, among other things. What if conventional wisdom is wrong? What if the higher the level the organism, the simpler the training should be? Maybe we make things more complicated than they should be. Basic biology may be more simple than it is complex. I hope this rant made a little bit of sense, and if not, I'd appreciate anyone who's willing to reach out and discuss further. But if we can agree that as long as you stimulate an organism to a level that it has never been stimulated before, adaptation will follow, then I think programming becomes much easier, and the details of what we do on a daily basis really don't matter very much.